Hey guys in the Twitch chat and the Academy chat. Okay, anyway, hey guys in the Academy chat, do join in the screen share so we can get started. But anyway, hi to the Twitch chat people. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be doing some holding positions and roaming today. So today is class 3 and we're gonna start off with an intro ourselves and you guys in the Academy chat. So yeah, let's move on. Give us a second. I'm gonna shift around the camera. And everyone's here, right? Okay. Let's go. So, little bit of intro. I think some of you may already know, but we're doing it for the new guys here. I'm Valone or Divine, and then I'm 22 years old this year, and I used to play console Siege, and I recently came second in the 2021 APAC Operation League, and I'm a 3 times diamond on PC. And next to me today is hello Lin. Today is Jordan. So Jordan is 26. He's a BMX rider. He's played 2 on PC 3 times, and he's also the R6SC Community Outreach Leader. And let's talk about the guys in the Academy chat. So maybe let's go top down as we usually do. Maybe start with Mr. Assassin, who's we've seen before. Hey, Assassin. Okay, he might be not here. Republic, how you doing, man? Just give a, an intro. Okay, Republic is also not here. Anyway, I was hearing from this guy, Ravenstorm, you here?
Hi, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here.
so I heard that you were new, then it's pretty new to you. So how do you find out about us and what are you looking to learn today?
Well, yeah, I'm not I'm mostly playing like single player games, so multiplayer games are sort of something I'm not as familiar with. Yeah, I mean, I was browsing through Instagram and then I happened to see an ad for the event, so I was like, I didn't mind like picking up skills that I can work on later down the road.
I see, I see. So I'll say you're pretty new to this whole FPS thing, right?
Uh, Competitive multiplayers, yes.
Okay. For you, there's also a class that we did before. You might want to check that out. There's a class done by Playbox. I think it's on the R6SC YouTube channel. We'll probably plug it later in the Academy chat, and you can check that out. So
Okay, sure.
Playbox was my previous teammate, and then he did a little bit about the basics. So probably you can follow that. Then, along with that and my lesson today, probably you can pick up new things that will help you in the future. So yeah, uh, yeah, JC's bio is very interesting. Two noodles. Debate, yo, debate, you here? Talk about you.
Yep. Hi, I am the bait, commonly just called bait in while playing with our friends. I've been playing for since shifting tides, and my highest is low gold as a support player. So I'm here to learn more in case because as a support player generally I end up finding myself in alone, like when the team push out. So I'm here to learn more so that I don't die as much.
Okay, so that's actually interesting. So many of you might think that free roaming and maybe holding positions, right, is more of, I'll say roaming is more by roamers. A lot of people have that misconception, but actually, support players like you, like a smoke player or mute, can actually do a lot to help a roam as well. And then hopefully I can bring those points across later. So stay tuned for that. We'll skip the introduction for Assassin and Republic since they're not really free now, but we'll move on to the rest of the
No,
I'm right
I'm
here
lesson.
right
not. Oh,
now.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
here. I'm here.
so you guys want to tell me a little bit maybe about what you guys want to learn today? Then maybe we can hope to cover that. So we start with Assassin, then Republic.
Yeah. So basically, in my team, I play normally the roamer role. So hoping to learn a lot because normally when I roam, I won't know what exactly is going wrong in my room. Sometimes my team doesn't give the call, or sometimes I make the wrong play. So I just want to know what's
Okay.
going wrong today. You know.
Alright, alright. Maybe you can give me some scenarios later when we talk about the video section. That'll be helpful. Republic, how about you? Do you play a roamer role?
For me, because now I might change my self support role to a fraggle role, so I'm gonna do a lot of roaming and position holding
I
since
see,
I'm
I
going to play
see.
those two at the same time.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's like I need to understand like all the best roams and possible holding positions since I mostly die a lot.
Alright, so probably I'll get you started with that, the basics plus the little bit of advanced, and hopefully I can help you go along your way as you start to learn roaming. Anyway, we're gonna start with class 3 today. This is once again brought to you by R6SC and SCAPE. So very huge thank you to SCAPE Esports for working with us, and then we'll do some things today. So let's start with holding a position. So as I always do, a brief breakdown. So the general rule of thumb for holding a position is understand what position you're playing, meaning that are you playing like a one-off position, a power position, or a position where it's only going to be effective for, let's say, a few seconds, like 20, 30 seconds. Then also understand what operator you are. So are you like a support operator like Kaid, Smoke? What utility do you have to help you hold your said position? Then also, what is your objective in this position? Like, are you here to play to your death, play your life, or are you here to merely shoot a few drones, fall back, play a little bit extended to help the roam, that kind of thing? And the importance of said position. So, like I was saying before, there are many positions in the map, and so when there are many positions, you have to understand what position is more important. So, let's take Clubhouse for example. Because Clubhouse is the focus of this academy, obviously. Clubhouse, like, I would say blue. So blue in basement is a position where I would call it a power position. If you lose the position, it's a bit hard to recover from. So understand the importance of blue, and then how can you more heavily hold blue with like lines of sight, rotates, your utility like smokes, barbed wires, that kind of thing. So 3 steps to help you hold a better position. So better hold a position, sorry. So I'll be talking about these steps in greater detail later, but if you have any questions before that, make sure to ask me. So in terms of planning ahead, so how do you, when you hold this position, what are you going to expect to happen in the future, in the next few minutes of the round? So understand that what's going to come your way, what can possibly happen to you? Can your wall be breached? Can you be flashed out, naded, that kind of thing? And then to understanding your initial position. So in the round, you typically, as a support, you don't want to really just stick in blue the whole round. Like let's say you're the blue player, right? You don't want to be on blue the whole round unless you need to be on camp. So maybe you can play a little bit extended, like in the secret area or in the oil pit area, that kind of thing. Understand that your initial position doesn't have to be your final position, that kind of thing. So 3, being reactive. So we'll talk about being reactive later on, as I said, but basically being reactive means the round is always going to change and the teams you play against are always going to be different. So the approach will be different and you have to be a bit more adaptable to what they're doing. So what does planning ahead mean? So planning ahead allows you to anticipate and be mentally prepared of what's ahead in the action phase of a round. So when you're being prepared, right, you typically understand what needs to come, what is going to come your way, then you feel less panic and enable you to make better decisions. So making better decisions is always better than making a rash one. Like when you're being pressured, you might make the wrong decision. So if you understand that, hey, my position is this, and then I have this amount of utility, like this amount of ADSs to help me, then you'll be less, less subjectable to dying. So planning ahead is also helps. Planning ahead also helps because it helps you understand where are you playing at the start, right? In the start of the round, are you going to be playing blue the whole round? Are you going to be holding bar as a roamer? Or are you going to be holding bedroom as a roamer? So wherever you're playing, the circumstances of the round will change. So let's say you're playing bedroom. So if you're playing bedroom as a, let's say, a vigil or mozzie roamer, that's where things start to change a bit compared to if you're on site in blue or on site on AKs. So when you're playing bedroom, right, I would say that you have to understand where you can fall back from bedroom, and then understand where are the points of entry for attackers normally. So what can I expect to encounter within this position is exactly what I'm talking about. So can you expect them to come from the bedroom balconies, right? Can you expect them to come from the lodgy hatch? Can you expect them to come from jacuzzi? Then if they come from these areas, where can you fall back? next is what teammates can offer assistance to me. So when you roam, you typically do not want to do a solo roam. The reason being, one, you get pinched very easily, and two, you cannot trade you or your teammate out during the roam. And obviously, having a teammate is better than being alone. So, teammates that can offer assistance are like your secondary roamer. Like maybe let's say you're the vigilant bedroom, then there's a Mozzie in cache. He can come over to help you, with his C4s, with his pests, to slow down the droning, to slow down the attackers, that kind of thing. Or he might be able to even get a cheeky headshot when they are trying to wrap you. Next is maybe even the anchors on site. Like I was saying before, if you are anchoring on site, like I was talking to, I think, Assassin. Oh no, the bait. Sorry. So the bait was saying he plays hard support, right? Let's say he's a smoke, and then his teammates maybe bring pressure in cash. Then the smoke normally plays in blue. Maybe the bait can even walk up like secret stairs, go up the red stairs, and help out the Mozzie. So roamers don't only play like a very one-dimensional role during supports don't only play a one-dimensional role during roam, but they can actually change up their routing or their pathing to help their roamers. And the use of vertical lines of sight, like even from let's say if you're playing cache CCTV and your roamer is in bar, and then you know that bedroom is clear, you can even have with your shotgun make vertical lines of sight to enable you to have a little bit more cover for your teammate in bar, that kind of thing. And shooting drones during prep phase. So normally when you plan ahead, you always want to put yourself in a position where it's an entry point, one, and two, where the drone is going to come from. So during, let's say, prep phase, you can always go to, if you're roaming, you can always get the hatches, then look for drones in the common spots like garage, kitchen, bar, even CCTV sometimes. And then once you shoot those drones, you then position yourself in another area. Like let's say you shot the drone from lounge, then you can position yourself in catwalk. Then from within catwalk, you can shoot one or two drones, fall back to CCTV, shoot another drone, then fall back, etc. So you always want to be shooting drones because this really heavily hemorrhages the attackers. It denies them a lot of information, and it wastes a lot of time because they are unsure what the next step is. They have to redrone to better get a clearer understanding of how the roam is working and where you are. So that's what I mean by planning ahead. Anyone have any questions at this time, like Twitch chat or the guys in the chat? Oh, hello Nat. Just saw you just joined in. You wanna tell me like what's your current level, that kind of thing? What are you looking to learn today?
Hi. Yes. I stumbled across your ad on Instagram and feel like uh it's quite a good lesson for me. I just got into Siege, I think maybe around last year. I feel like it's one of the more fun FPS that I've played so far. So I'm willing to learn more about it. So far, I've not played a lot of ranked because I only play with friends and we've played unranked. Uh, I'm just trying to get better at the game. Or yeah.
What would you say is your biggest challenge right now with regards to Siege? Is it like the operators, the map, or maybe even today's lesson, holding a position or roaming? What's your greatest
Uh,
challenge?
challenge. I think the biggest challenge is trying to trying to win. I realize every time I play, uh, we lose like very in very stupid ways. Yeah,
Mm.
like it's so unpredictable. So looking at your presentation right now. One thing that I've not picked up on is planning ahead. Most of the time, you just run in and just anyhow play.
Yeah,
So
for
maybe I'm
sure.
trying to play with a plan in mind. Because if you
Right.
fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah, correct. I like that a lot. Yeah, so that's actually one of the points I was about to bring up.
Yeah,
Siege is a game where you can't really play like COD, unfortunately, because it's
yeah, you
very slow
can't.
paced. It has a lot of operators, and obviously the map and the complexity that comes with destruction obviously brings a lot of variables. So playing here is always good, and it's good to know that you are here to learn. So if any questions in mid presentation or even mid slide or mid pointer, let me know. Then we can talk about it. Or even questions maybe towards the end, if you have any questions outside of these two topics, right? You can even ask me. Then we can answer that on stream.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we'll move on now. So step 2, understanding your initial position. So what does that mean? So understanding your initial position allows you to position yourself in the most efficient manner possible. So what I mean by that is that you don't really want to be a static rock, especially on defense. Because a lot of teams I feel, or even a lot of players in general, when they play this FPS for the first time, they always think, I'm gonna stay here, then I'm gonna stay here the whole round, then I wait for them to come to me. Which is not the way or the approach you want to take in Siege, because you always want to be a little bit more proactive. Which is why there's utility in your pockets, there's gadgets. It allows you to extend your roam, extend your map presence, and if you don't have any map presence, you allow the attackers to take it for free, and when they do that, they set up really quickly, and then they are able to execute. So, like most defenses, you want to force them to execute last minute. That's when they make mistakes, they slip up, and then you can take advantage of those slip ups. So positioning yourself in the most efficient manner possible is, like I said, you want to position yourself forward. You want to be in a position where you're safe enough to shoot drones while not dying, but also denying the attackers a bit of map control. So what I mean by that is, like I was saying before, if you're on a basement room, you can even play in lounge, garage, that kind of thing, fall back. Then if you're on CCTV, you can play in the bedroom side. If you're on gym, play in cache side. Play on the opposite side of the map, play vertically, deny them the control. Then also position yourself in a way that you can take gunfights advantageously. So what I mean by that is using elevation, using lines of sight, using pixel angles, that kind of thing. Don't stand in the open. Don't try to full swing, when the attacker is already in garage from lounge, that kind of thing. Make sure you're in a position where uh ideally they are forced to take a disadvantages, because 70-30 gunfights are normally, and what I mean by 70-30 is you have a 70% likelihood to win the gunfight and the person only has a 30% likelihood to win. So you want to take those kind of 70-30 gunfights to allow you to get the man advantage, then you can play a little bit slower following in the round. So also understanding your avenues to fall back. So like something I was mentioning before, when you take the gunfight, keep in your mind, if I lose this, like during the first 2 seconds where I lose my initial spray, where can I fall back to? Or if I fail to shoot a drone and then they're droning me out and the wall next to me is open, where can I fall back to? If the wall next to me is breached, what can I do fall back to? Always keep that in your mind. When you're holding a position or even roaming, you don't want to allow yourself to be stuck or to be caught. So make sure that you understand where you can fall back to, play in a safe position, play in a smart position. So next is my position a power position, or is it a one-off or a rotate position? So power positions are normally like cafe pixel, the garage catwalk, if you're playing CCTV, or even like let's say I would say logistics is also a power position. Or are you playing a one-off position? Are you playing like construction during a CCTV cache bomb site? Because construction, once the trench wall is open and the windows are open, it's very hard to fall back. So it's a one-off position. Once you play that once, you shoot the drone, you have to fall back. Or is it a rotate position? Oh, sorry, construct is a rotate position. One-off means basically you play in gym, then you play to die. Like let's say, what I mean by play in gym is like let's say you're CCTV cache, right? Then you're roaming. There's no rotate hole in the gym to bedroom. Then you're just playing in gym. It's a one-off position. Uh, from those one-off positions, the way to get out of those is normally by the use of utility or your teammates. So you can get your smoke on site to make a rotate from bedroom to gym, or you can use your impacts, open the hatches, or your Aruni, super crazy operator now. She can one punch the hatches. So do that. Uh, or are you playing a one-off rotate position? So rotate positions was like I mentioned, construct, right? Shoot the drones when you're pressured, fall back. Or like let's say lounge, shoot the drones, fall back, that kind of thing, rotate positions. So where can I safely rotate to next once I'm pressured? Like I said, ideally you want to be gym, to bedroom, to construct, to site, that kind of thing. Make sure you're layer upon layer, shooting drones, slowing them down, that kind of thing. What operators can help me hold this position, myself and my teammates. So I actually talked about this a little bit just now, which is basically getting your smoke to help you make rotates. Getting your alibi, the shotgun pistol, to make rotates for you, Or she can even put down some of her prismas. Mozzie can put down some of his pests. Mute can come out and put down some of his mute jammers. So who can help you hold this position for longer, right? By use of mid jammers, slowing down information, by use of prismas, creating disruption, that kind of thing. And what secondary gadgets will be useful to me? So what I mean by that is like impacts, bulletproof cameras, barbed wires, Where can you put them to benefit you later in the round? or even have your teammate hold the bulletproof camera so you can make aggressive plays of it, that kind of thing. Any questions then? So Assassin, you got any questions? Because I understand that you were a bit confused with the roams, and then how your teammates can help you, that kind of thing.
Right now I have no questions. So it's basically the issues when I have is when I deep roam. Like it's not a shallow roam. As you said, you can roam near bedroom, you can roam near gym area, and you can get a smoke to help you. I don't have issues that time. It is when I go for a very deep room where probably the site is basement and I'm roaming on 2F. That's when I have issues. So that's what.
Okay. I think being reactive will help you. So let's talk about that. Then after that, I'll get into how you can actually deep roam effectively. So what does being reactive mean? So in a game like Siege where the variables are always changing, right? One round is never the same, and you always want to be adaptable. You always want to be adapting, reacting to what they're doing, and then giving the right answer. You always want to be problem solving. So yes, Inky, I just saw your question. Roamers are supposed to waste time, and I'll get to that later. But this is more of holding a position. So holding a position and roaming actually hold hand in hand, and there's something that roamers should do and side anchors should do, but it's not only limited to side anchors like a lot of people think. So, one is being reactive. What can I do when being droned out? Can you shoot the drone and reposition, or can you even mega brain it, shoot the drone and then still stay where you are? That actually throws attackers off sometimes because they think that you can fake the the fallback, right? Let's say you're in catwalk in garage, you shoot the drone, then you allow the drone to see you jump through the window, catwalk window into CC. But actually, once there's a little gap, you jump back into catwalk, and that's when you boggle the minds of attackers. Then you might be able to get a free kill. So what happens when a reinforcement pivotal to my position is open? So what I mean by that is for 2F roamers especially, nowadays the meta is to reinforce jacuzzi and platform wall. And when those reinforcements are open, how do the roamers react? So the reaction is normally to give up the position, but we'll argue against that. Yes, it's correct to give up, but are you giving up at the correct time? I think that's the more important thing, is that a lot of teams struggle to figure out. So what I mean by that is that when the reinforcement is open, let's say jacuzzi or platform, yes, you're being drone. But when the drone is coming, is there any follow up? Right? Are the attackers actually actively making use of the information? And if they're not, punish it, right? Or if they refuse to, let's say, give you the respect and they dry peek, punish it. And then if they drone and then there's pressure, what do you do then? So next thing is you communicate to your teammate on the other side of the room. Tell him, hey, my wall is open, they're droning me out and they're pushing right now. Is your site clear? Where can we fall back to? So that normally comes down to you talking to your 1F roamer. So 2F clubhouse normally has 2 roamers and 1F. Okay, for basement room, there'll be 3 roamers normally. 2 on 2F and 1 on 1F, which is bar/lounge. So that's when you communicate to your 1F player and say, hey, are they pushing 1F and from where? Where can we fall back to? That's when communication comes in. So like I was talking about in calls, you always want to be a bit clear to your teammates, allow them to know where the push is coming from, what camps you have, what camps you don't. Those play into what information you have and allow you to make a better decision when falling back. So in a team aspect, you always want to be communicating, understanding where they're pushing from, where their weakness is, because ultimately they only have 5 people, they cannot be pushing from everywhere. And if they do, it comes down to you punishing them for taking 1v1s without droning. And then what can I do when being pushed? When you're being pushed and you cannot fall back, what do you do? So in those scenarios, right, a lot of players like to stick in the middle and then they get a little bit scared, then they allow themselves to get wrapped. And so in those scenarios, you always want to be the one that's proactive. And what I mean by that is that when you're being wrapped, you want to, instead of hiding or staying in where you are, you want to take a one-on-one gunfight with the guy that is wrapping you. Once you've done that, then you have created yourself an opening. And once you have that opening, you can rotate. So never stand still during a 2v1. 2v1 as in you're getting wrapped. Always be proactive, take the first fight. take your 1v1, hopefully win it, and then rotate out. How can I act on the info relate to me to make a play? So normally when you're roaming, you have a lot of your anchors on cams. People like the bait most likely will be on cams. Then they'll tell you, hey, I only have the top man cam now. At top man top main. Okay, I'm struggling here. Top main cam and the bar cam now. So that's when you know maybe it's a garage centric push since we have lost garage cam, garage defaults, that kind of thing. So once you know that, you can just play a little bit aggressive on garage, shoot a few drones, then fall back, but don't stay for long because that's when you know it's gonna be garage centric. We still have the bar cams, the top main. They're not really pushing from there. So once you have established that, you have two options: one, to challenge the push, and two, to slowly peel back. And that's a little bit hard to say in terms of what do you do, but most of the times, what you want to do is ideally waste time because you don't want to die for free, and playing time is always to your advantage as a defender. So I would say calculate in your head if it's a 70-30 likelihood that you can win or you can hold the position safely, stay there. If you can't, fall back, waste time, shoot drones. Uh, where can I rotate to safely once I've exhausted enough time / utility? So like let's say your jacuzzi wall is open, main stairs is no longer option. So the hatches are options. Or let's say they're in bar, the hatches are no longer options. Fall back to let's say red stairs, since they're in bar side, that kind of thing. Understand where your routes are, be constantly communicating your teammates, understand where is clear, where is not, and then make the correct play. So yeah, for the newer players here, I think Raven, Net, or Republic. Any questions? Because it might be a bit daunting, a lot of things thrown at you.
Yeah, it's quite quite a lot of stuff to take in, but uh hearing from what you said, yeah, I think the falling falling back part is actually quite important. I mostly play the roamer role, uh, and I realize every time I try to fall back, I always get picked off because maybe I'm not falling back correctly. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I never think about actually where to fall back after I take the engagement because it became muscle memory already. I just run wherever there is cover, and sometimes that position is obviously not so pivotal. Like I run into a corner, and then obviously the guy's gonna push me, right? I should
And
die
you
on.
get yourself stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice. At least I've learned more about maybe creating some good rotations, and having teammates that can help you also is quite good.
Yeah,
Cause you cannot just one man create all the rotates, ma.
yeah. And
Yeah.
also like you can fall back to your teammate. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I realize now you actually need guys on cams because most of the time my friends we just run around and just not look at cams at all.
Call of
So
Duty.
yeah, it's actually quite good because now that if someone is on cams, then we know which cams are on or off, and then we roughly know where they are coming from.
Yeah, then you can fall back accordingly. It really allows you to fall back safely, with more confidence. And then you don't have so
Yeah,
much anxiety on the roam.
yeah. A lot of time I realize I don't have much info. Yeah, I think information is very important in this game. Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, so I think having maybe I'll try next time be the teammate that stays on cams and give info.
What about Raven? Raven, you doing okay? Catching up.
I mean, so far, fine so far. It's just a lot of new information that I'm just trying to absorb. I don't have any specific questions right now.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But if you have any, do let me know.
Okay, sure.
So I think we'll be moving into positioning based on your role. So this is something that some of you might be interested in. Is basically when you're roaming or you're anchoring or maybe even you're attacking or even you're support on the attack side. How do you position yourself? And how do you hold where you need to hold or hold the lines of sight that you're supposed to? So a lot of you might be confused and think, yeah, I picked Zofia, but what is Zofia supposed to do? Or I picked Thermite, but yeah, I opened the breach, but what's next? So for this specific point, right, it's a bit hard to say since it's map dependent, but I'll be mainly focused on Clubhouse, then I'll give you a few scenarios from E-bomb sites. So, like I said here, the most common way to determine where to position is based on the operator you have picked. So this is not really applicable for competitive play, but for a general standpoint, I would say this suffices. This will suffice. So for Jaeger, right, like let's say you're picking a Jaeger, or you're picking a Vigil, or you're picking a roaming operator like Mozzie, you're gonna be likely offside roaming. So that's why you're gonna position yourself. So when you're offside roaming, it depends on your bomb site, right? If you're CCTV cache, you want to be extended to bedroom. Then, like I say, if you're in basement, extend to 2F, 1F. Then if you're in gym, extend to cache 1F, that kind of thing. And the importance of gym 1F, which a lot of teams don't take note, is that gym 1F actually have a lot of impact. One, you can flank up the red stairs. Two, flank up garage. Three, throw C4s, impacts, that kind of thing. And if you're a side anchor like a Kaid or Smoke, you're normally inside on camps. Understand that your role is very important. On camps are boring. Being on camps is very boring. That's one. But two, when you're on camps, you actually have the ability to make a lot of plays. You can call the plays for your teammates, allow them to roam more easily without anxiety, that kind of thing, since they know and have information. And at a shallow roam position, you can also be at a shallow roam position, is what I mean, to aid in the falling back / shooting of drones. So, last what was it? I think Nat was mentioning earlier. Whenever he falls back, he normally gets stuck in a corner. So for those people on site, right, people like the bait that plays support or Republic that was soft support before, what they can actually do is they can take a more advanced position in front of the map. When the roamers are falling back, the roamers will say, "Hey, I need to fall back now. Can you guys help me?" So people like Republic, people like Bait, they'll get off camps and they'll say, "Okay, I'm gonna walk up the secret stairs. I'm gonna walk up main stairs, and I'm gonna, cover you as you're falling back, giving you a bit of assistance, or even shooting drones early in the round, that kind of thing." You're not completely useless if you're support. You actually have a lot of use. It's just that it really depends on how the round is being played and how you're reacting to it. So yeah, for termites, so like for attacking supports, right? Normally you guys will be outside the breach, or outside the entry points. You'll be droning for your entry fraggers. You'll be on camps. You'll be either flicking the camps to allow your flicking the pre-placed camps like we were mentioning before in the previous class, to allow your entries to enter the building, and / rotating to help burn ADSs for utility clear / opening another wall. So for termites or support players, right, you guys always want to be establishing more lines of sight for your teammates, and then allowing your teammates to make use of those lines of sights. And then while they're doing that, you are rotating around the map, burning ADSs, opening another wall, creating more pressure, that kind of thing. That's your job as support. And then obviously once your foot hits the pedal, you become an entry fragger. For Zophias or Ashes or Yanas, you want to be entry fragging. You want to have your supports hold the camps, going in the building, aiding in the clearing of utility with your impacts, your nades, your gun sixes, that kind of thing, and also creating pressure. So for like Zophias, the most common ones will be they will be on secret, holding the blue player. They will be on platform rappel, holding the cross from garage to was it cash, and then sometimes my brain also off. Or air, you like Ash, right? You're gonna vertical from stock, that kind of thing. You always want to be creating pressure, making the side anchors uncomfortable, then drawing the roamers to you. And once you do that, your supports on camps will tell you, hey, they're flanking you, then kaboom, you get a free kill. It really normally works that way, but to get to that level of play is another thing where you have to work with your friends, your teammates, and then communicate more. Then you can make those things happen. Because obviously it doesn't happen overnight. We'll actually be moving on to the video portion after this. So for some of you that are playing specific operators or that still have questions that I haven't covered yet, or a pointer that I haven't covered yet, maybe let's talk about that. Then we'll move into videos. So Assassin, not sure whether I've answered your question yet, but yeah, any questions?
No question, right?
What about Republic? Any questions from you as up and coming roamer?
No, sorry.
Sorry? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's good. Raven, Net, anything you want to learn about Rome or the bait. If you guys have nothing, then we can move on.
No.
Yeah, sure, we can move on.
Okay. So we'll be taking a look at some videos here, and then I think we'll talk about what you see in the videos, then some of your feedback / pointers, then we'll talk about those.
Como si okay.
In dining, Zolf, second up.
Oh my god, he
Okay,
got
never
me.
mind.
Shell corridor.
T1,
Down the
2,
stairs,
T1. Coming down
here.
T1. Come
Yeah,
down
down the
T1,
stairs,
no
coming
man.
down the stairs.
Ace
Scatter,
dead.
scatter.
Ibana dead. Zofia gonna die.
T1 last team.
Back off already.
Zofia dead. Last one no man on me.
I hold boiler stairs.
Yeah, so here you saw me holding a position and I was super stuck. So this is what I mean by when you're being read by both sides, right? Don't stand still, always be moving, that kind of thing. So any questions from you guys, and then maybe what you have observed in the video, and maybe what I can even do better, or maybe what even the guys on site could have done better to help me. We'll start top down, go with assassin, then everyone give a bit of feedback, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So what I noticed was before the Hibana came to you, she probably killed someone else who was probably in the bottom right or something, who was coming to support you maybe. Yeah. So what he could have done, he could have just waited a bit more, and when the Hibana pushed you, he could have come and support maybe instead of dying before she even pushed you. You know.
Yeah. So good point there, which is basically when you need to help your teammate, right? It's always okay to tell them, hey, I need 2 or 3 extra seconds because the timing is going to be better for me. The situation is going to be better for me. It's going to swing in my favor. So even if it's a bit late, tell them, hey, I'm going to be a bit late, but hold out for a little bit more. You can make a better play. Republic.
I agree with his statement as well. My answer will be the same.
Nice. Okay. What about you when you're stuck? Let's maybe talk about because you're learning to roam, right?
I mean,
you-
I tried the role already, and I think I used to roam a lot already. So
Not really
that's
a
why
lot.
I agree with his statement of your teammates to be supporting.
Right. Okay. Net.
Yeah, I feel like the timing of the attackers was quite bad. I feel that I mean yes, you did try to like move around a lot, change your position a lot, but I feel that maybe the attackers could have better communication and they could have just pushed you and cleared you out lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
that is what happens. It's what happens a lot in like my games. I realize when we're trying to clear out roamers, right, we all die to them one by one, which is very annoying.
Yeah. So actually, that's a point that I kind of want to hear. So when it comes to this kind of scenarios, when you're clearing the room, right, not everyone has to be the one making first contact. And what I mean by that is that it's always smarter to pressure the roamer to make the first move because ultimately you guys have been boxed in. And if you're in a situation like, let's say I was the attacking team, I would never push through that door because that door is fatal funnel. You basically all funnel in the same door, then I can just pre-fire the daylight out of you. In order to prevent this, one thing that we do, especially on my team, is that we pressure the roamer, then we allow the roamer to make the first move. Being either he C4s his way out, then we catch him then, or he takes the 1v1 and then we play a very superior angle, like all the way back in small tower, then we kill him. Or we entry at the same time, like you were saying. So we do not entry like with very bad timings. We time it and say, you guys ready? We're gonna go 3, 2, go. Then we'll go. It's even a little bit of countdown goes a long way in order to help you secure that frag or that refrag, that kind of thing. You know, don't allow yourself to give away kills for free, like you said. Die one by one. Maybe Raven. Any comments?
I think like I'm still rather new to it, but yeah, I do understand like the attackers were not very well coordinated instead of coming in sort of like at the same time from different locations. They sort of just came out one by one, and that made it easier for you to take them down.
Right. So timing is an issue, then probably try to apply the 3-2-1 in the future. Debate. Anything from you, my friend? Yeah. Maybe coming as a support player, how can you help this, this roamer here?
Maybe push up the basement. Either push up the basement wide, like either push up from basement wide, or if someone was like there was like someone shot there, maybe push up from tower stairs if they don't have like air jet.
Right, exactly. So, like I said before,
And even if they have an air jet, maybe like activating it will cause the nomad to turn around. Then
right, very good
whoever was
point.
in the kitchen could have had time to reload and turn around.
Right. Exactly. So there are many ways you can buy time, even like sacrificing yourself to air jet, which is very, very good point. I never thought of that, but yeah. Creates a lot of sound, it splits the attention of the attackers, or maybe they are so distracted with me that you can even push out the tower stairs and then shoot one in the back of the head. It's not only about me, myself, my play here, but it's more of maybe how can my side roamers help me slash how could the attackers play better. So yeah, good pointers.
Actually, I still have like one question.
Yeah, sure.
So based on that play just now, right? Do you think that is there a situation whereby let's say since you are a roamer, then you're the only guy there. Is it okay if you leave like one attacker just to deal with the guy? Because you have the information that that ally is over there, and then you just let one guy deal with it. Then the rest can go and push side. Is that a good idea?
Okay, what you have said is basically we ignore roam. So we call this term ignore roam in the sense that
Yeah.
like it's exactly what it means. We ignore the roamer. But
Yeah.
it's very situational in the sense that if he's in kitchen now, we will not ignore him. And the reason being is because we need 1F control to work the hatches, to work map control. But if the roamer is second floor and he hasn't opened any hatches, he hasn't opened any vertical lines of sight to disrupt us, right? And we realize that there's 2 or 3 guys above, maybe slash 1 guy kitchen. What I will normally call as IGL is that I will call wrap the kitchen guy, kill him first, then we'll do a quick side take. Because if you do the math, we kill 1 in kitchen, 2 guys above, because we have replaced drone, we know the info. Like you said, like, we can ignore him because he's not doing anything special. So 2 guys above, we kill kitchen, it's 5v4, right? What we'll do is we will split our attention and then we'll do a split push into the side. Then we'll trade numbers until we get the bomb down. Then we allow the roamers to come back. So it's a very good plan. It's something that a lot of teams they don't do, but it's also very situational in the sense that you must read the situation enough to understand. And over time, as you gain the game sense from this game, you can call the play. So, if he's 1F, I will not do that. But if he's 2F roaming, I will. So it's a bit situational. It's hard for me to say on every map. But yeah, it's a good point and something you can consider. But you need to understand where your weaknesses is slash what you need to clear before you can actually do that.
I see.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
point. Sorry, I just skipped one video. Here we go.
Trophy stairs. Draco trophy. Ben, you wanna start smoking?
Yeah.
Ash did.
Checker.
Nice.
Amazing.
Trophy. Ben, play your shield. Ben, play your shield. Ben, play your
Oh
shield.
wait, the window. I don't know if they are rappelling there.
So nobody.
Care white stairs.
Actually, you can put your shield where you are right now. I'm gonna put it there.
Jacko white stairs.
You got angle white stairs?
No, I'm marking the room.
Chris, you got shotgun.
Outside big window.
Big window.
And white stairs also.
Big window and white. Ben, you can start smoking.
Mute need help. Big window last.
Maybe vote
In.
In.
Woo! Let's go! Easy peasy lemon squeezy. SMG, man.
Yeah, cool clip. Maybe some pointers here. Assassin. Actually, let's go bottom up. Let's go with the bait. So Mr. Bait, support player. normally you're put in this kind of positions. How do you navigate your way out?
Uh, Most of the time in this situation, I will most likely be like the smoke because I usually play Kate. So if it was just two of us left, I most likely would be the smoke's position watching trophy. And then if I hear someone is if need me to if someone coming out white, I'll rotate to kids.
Yeah,
Or if there's a rotate hole, I can watch the rotate hole from games to white stairs.
right. Then what about maybe let's talk about the use of utility here by the smoke slash, his positioning. Was he quick enough to react to the calls?
Uh,
Okay, use of utility, was it good or bad? Then was he reacting, quick enough to the calls? Like, do you think he could have done it better, that kind of thing?
Could have been a bit faster, but as we could hear from the chaos, like the first starting part, he was also scared that someone was repelling on James' window.
Right,
So he was like trying to watch trophy and watch out for James' window
right.
at the same time.
Yeah, good point. So one thing I'll actually say about the smoke is that he could have asked, like, hey, what info is up? And do we know where they are? Or slash, he could have asked way sooner, is there someone on game? That kind of thing. Raven, anything you've noticed and, what was standing out to you?
For me, like what I picked up on is like for me when I play defense, I tend to be a lot more stationary. Like there's a reinforced wall, so normally I back myself up against a reinforced wall and point towards the entrance and wait for them to come to me, and then I start attacking. Whereas here, like it's a lot more mobile, so I guess that for me moving forward, I myself need to be moving around a lot more, not just be hunkered down in a corner in that kind of scenario. So I think that's a change that I need to make when I play.
Yeah, so one thing you see the mute do a lot is that he perfectly uses the cover in the angles in his favor to keep. So normally in 2v4, like they were in, you always want to be the one making the play, especially when you're man countdown. You don't ever want to be sitting around waiting because the moment you wait, you allow the attackers to drone you out, gather info, and make a play. So before they even get to that process, you must disrupt them. You must make a play, get their number count down, punish them for making solo plays, which is what the mute did here. So very well played by the mute. Quite a masterclass of the, I call this penguin. Yeah, penguin position. So Nat, any pointers, anything interesting, then maybe what we have done differently?
I probably would not have done much differently. This spot is I would say quite dangerous, especially if you are. I think since it was a 4v2, right? But I feel like the attackers played that quite horribly. They know that the mule is there, but yet they fail to clear him. I mean, it could be because of bad communication and all. But good play from the defending side. And
Yeah,
well placed utilities, especially the Wamai, the thing at the
the
is it a
magnets.
yeah,
Yeah,
the magnets at the
Windows.
the windows there, giving the mute the information like I say information player, very
Yeah,
good. And the smoke also, what a good support player.
yeah. So yeah, very good point. Utility here was very good because it gave the mute time to react whenever he heard the flashes coming in. Because attackers normally flash right before they're pushing, and then the attackers obviously had a big mix up. They screwed up really badly. Also, partly because the mute made their first move. And when you're the one swinging first, you cause a lot of confusion with the attackers. Then they're like, wow, he's swinging me. Oh my god. You know, then there's a lot of delay, there's a lot of whining from the attacker side. Then they will like, they're bound to screw up. And then the follow-up will always be slow. So Republic, maybe from a team standpoint,
Yeah.
you know, what's a bit different from in terms of like the setup
To be
or
honest,
the teamwork?
to be honest, it was okay, but I see the enemy team has bad communication as mentioned because they could have easily killed the mute, but they failed to. Especially when he was surrounded by 3 people or more.
Can you talk about more about the avenues to kill him? How would you kill this mute from this position? How will you flush out this
Technically,
position?
I will be like the Ash where he will pre-fire because the Ash had a
From
late reaction
so from where?
from the white stairs because technically Ash had the open queue but then failed to react in time.
Okay, but maybe what would be the assistance given to the Ash to make that play? Like what would be the before, you know?
I would actually technically if I were the Ash, I would just tell my teammate to push together so that it will make the mute confused to who to kill first.
Okay, so just to maybe add on to your point, another thing that you could have done is like the Hibana from Big Window, she could have flashed. So
Yeah.
even though it didn't flash the mute, the flash itself must sound, and that allows your Ash to swing. Or two, the Ash could have Ash charged under the mute, allowing him pushing him out of the position, and then running into the Hibana from Big Window. Or three, if they had nades, they could have naded him out. So it's not really as one-dimensional as you must always take a gunfight, which is what I dislike doing this game. A lot of teams, they always think, I must take a gunfight to clear this position. I must take a gunfight to clear this position. No, you don't. You can actually clear it vertically. You can use flashes, you know, make a bit of sound. Or three, you can even nade him out. I mean, one nade, you don't even need to shoot anybody, you get a kill. I'm quite happy with that. So, you know, 0 risk, 100% reward. Always go for those kind of plays. Don't only think that when you're clearing out a position, you need to take a gunfight. That is not true. You can create lines of sight. Like, that's not in security where I was. They could have breached open security and then I was screwed, right? But they didn't.
Yeah.
They chose to take gunfights, which is what led to their demise. So always use your utility at hand, especially as attackers, and then obviously time your pushes. Those are two very key lessons. Assassin. Any
Yeah,
pointers?
so I'm gonna speak from the Smokes perspective here. What he could have done better, he uses Smokes well, but what he could have done better is position himself in such a way where there was a crossfire established between you and him. Because what I noticed was you took all the 4 gunfights, but by chance, if the attackers had killed you, I think the attackers would have won that round. But Smoke was just sitting inside attic and he was just smoking Big Window and White Stairs. Instead, he could have come a bit closer to you, like maybe instead he could have sat on the line of sights in kids, or he could have sat in games maybe, and at least held a crossfire on Big Window and White Stairs. Because by chance, if the attackers were pushing with coordination, they would have most probably killed you here and moved on to kill the Smoke.
Yeah. So very good point here. I actually really like this point. So this point basically enforces teamwork, right? And the teamwork at hand here was quite horrible from the defenders, and they managed to put it out of the bag because, like you said, they won gunfights. And gunfights are always a bit iffy. If you're not hitting your shots that day, or you know the opponent kills you, it's over. So always try to 70-30 a gunfight, put yourself in the winning position, establish crossfires, and as the smoke, get closer to the mute. Play the lines of sight, like Assassin said, and then utilize your setup. If you're not playing your setup, you're playing to fail. Because a lot of teams, especially or players at the lower levels, they always fail to understand, why am I reinforcing this? Why am I making this line of sight? Why am I making this rotate? When they make all the rotates, they don't play them. They run around the map, they get a few kills. If they die, they die. If they get a kill, they win the round, then they're very happy. But they don't understand that the setup is there for a reason. Play the setup, play off it, play the utility that's within the setup. And it's a good point that Assassin brought up, and I hope that it's something that you guys keep in mind, because playing the setup is something that's not done a lot, and if you do it more, you'll win a lot more rounds. So yeah, holding position 3.
It's what the
Blue coming main.
Going down main.
Nice.
There's another one. The one who killed me is a Maverick.
Yeah, I'm on breach. I'm on breach right now.
He's K9.
What do you have? I can watch
I have
blue.
your main.
I can watch blue
I have your
cross.
main. I have your main. I have your main. I have your main.
Okay, I'm watching blue cross.
West is one. Maverick maybe. Either main stairs, yeah, probably mains or west.
You got smokes or not, Jordan?
Yep.
How many?
3.
One
Where
minute
you
is
need?
smoke behind. We push them in front.
Smoke behind meaning smoke wine.
Oh yeah, wine door. One got
Where's that
combine.
goo?
I think probably games-ish.
I smoke one door once.
They're gonna come here. They got blue cross right now.
What do you mean?
Smoke wine twice.
Like you're behind Meth. That's a meth pistol. You making hole, is it?
No. He's above. Not sure where.
Audio.
Coming with me.
Five place
main.
droning.
Smoke wine last time.
I think he'll miss me. Yeah, he missed me. I think might be down. Let them come down. I think double.
He's taking out the gold mine.
Yeah, double. One droning, one crouch right behind him.
15 seconds left.
I'm swinging a bit.
10 seconds left.
I'm in blue now.
Okay, I'm in snow. Snow dead.
Top 4 last stop standing.
I don't know where.
Nice.
Time limit expired.
What's the last guy?
I don't know. I think the focus of this video is a bit different, so I hope you have spotted it, and then we'll talk about it here. Maybe let's start with the bait.
So, bit of chaos at the start, repeating like the calls, like who's watching who several times. Good use of the smoke, I guess. I don't really play smoke that much, so sometimes at end game situation like this, I might panic and throw the smokes faster than they like dissipate. You know what I mean? Yeah, so there's that.
So with regards to throwing smokes without delay, right? I think the delay is actually. Oh my god, I think I might be wrong. But I think it's 8 to 10 seconds. It's not exactly 10, but the smoke lasts for 10, but the damage lasts for 8, if I'm not wrong. And what happens is you breathe in and you take about 15-20 HP a breath. So the key to smoking well, right, is actually counting 8. So what we normally do is the smoke you don't normally count 8, use the timer, but you throw, you see 8, you throw again, then there's no delay. So that's what we normally do, and for smoke players, that's something to pick up. But with regards to this video, like you said, a lot of chaos at the start. Watching what? Ways to mitigate this is once you die, I died here, he's pushing here, this is the guy, which is basically I died in blue, he's pushing down blue stairs, there's a Zofia, he's half, that kind of thing. Then if you can call his stance, you say crouch, standing, prone, that kind of thing.
At the end, I don't know why the attacking team didn't drone, because it looked like the drone that the person on main seems to see the visual before. Like before it was like glowing, so I can't tell which way it's facing, but it looks like he
It's
saw the
facing me.
visual. Yet the person who's on that drone didn't say anything.
Yeah, so a bit of miscom / lazy droning. He probably didn't fully drone a corner, then I turned on my scanner. Can't really remember the sequence of events, but yeah, like I said, so after you die, right, after saying what I just said, also say I'm on this cam and then I can see this. The reason you say that is to allow your teammates to know what you're watching / where it's clear. So do say that, avoid a lot. That will dissipate a lot of chaos. And next is like yeah, basically that's it. And then as attackers, don't lazy drone. Make sure you drone fully. Tell your teammates what you're doing. You know, once you die, get on camps. Raven, you know, any interesting pointers? Something you wanna point out?
Point more of like this clip brings a question to mind. Like in the beginning, like you're stationary, like you're hiding behind cover, which is what I normally do, and then later on you move around, you start moving. So it's like when you know like when to
move.
Yeah, to like hide behind cover and stay in location, whereas when to move out and start roaming around. So that would be my question.
So a lot of it is information and sound. I'll play the clip here, then I'll talk about what I was thinking about. Oh yeah.
There's another one. The one who killed me is a Maverick.
Yeah, I'm on breach. I'm on breach right now.
He's K9.
What do you have? I can watch
I have your
blue. I
main.
can watch blue
I have your
cross.
main. I have your main. I have your main. I have your main.
I'm watching blue cross.
West is one, Maverick maybe. Either main stairs, yeah, probably mains or west.
You got smokes or not, Jordan?
Yep.
Okay, actually, something I want to say about this call is that this call really confused me. Okay, when you're on camps, right, there's a layer to it also, which in the sense that you don't call something that's not important. So I think Fasher was on camps here, and then he had a West main camp. So what he was saying is, West main stairs one. Then he sort of mumbled. He did a little bit of a rap, and he said, main stairs one. So it's as if the guy from West main teleported to main stairs. That's what I heard, and then I was a bit confused. So in terms of calls, try to call very clearly where he is, and then call important stuff. It's good to say there's one West main. Then if he's not doing anything special, just don't say anything anymore. You know.
I can watch
I have your
blue. I
main.
can watch blue
I have your
cross.
main. I have your main. I have your main. I have your main.
Okay, I'm watching blue cross.
Or the reason why I ask what my smoke has here is to understand what I need to hold. So if my smoke has my main, I hold blue. Our gap will be west main / trench, which is why you'll hear me say something later.
Cross.
West is one, Maverick maybe. Either main stairs, yeah, probably mains or west.
You got smokes or not, Jordan?
Yep.
How many?
3.
1
Where
minute
you
is
need?
smoke behind. We push them in front.
Smoke behind meaning smoke wine.
Yeah, wind door.
Yeah, so this is when I say 1 minute smoke. Yeah, the back or behind. So what I meant by that was basically smoke trench, then we will funnel the attackers to the front. So this allows me to play my current position, and like you said, I'll stay in this corner, and then I will swing out of the corner later based on info / sound. Because I remember I still had the barbed wire there.
One got
Where's that
combined,
glue?
I think probably games-ish.
I smoke one door once.
They're gonna come here. They got blue cross right now.
What do you mean?
My beauties are in place.
Smoke wine twice.
Like you're behind Meth. That's a meth pistol. You making hole, is it?
No. He's above. Not sure where.
Audio,
Coming with me.
Five place
main.
droning, 5 place droning.
Smoke wine last time.
I think he'll miss me. Yeah, he missed me. I think might be down. Let them come down. I think double.
He's taking out the gold mine.
Yeah, double. One droning, one crouched right behind him.
15 seconds left.
I'm swinging a bit.
10 seconds left.
I'm in blue now.
Okay, I'm in snow. Snow dead.
Op 4 last stop standing.
Okay, so the reason I moved out of the corner, one is because I allowed him to draw me out. And then once I allowed him to draw me out, I turned on the scanner, then I shifted my position. So during the last 20 seconds is normally like the call was he's pulling out the goo mine. So the next thing is they'll push. So the cue for me to move was basically I allowed them to draw me, I give them false information that I'm still at the area that they previously drew me at, then I move out. So I reposition. So it's something that you can apply and use in the future. Understand that moving is really dependent on what is happening. So for me, the cue was I was drawn, I faked my position, then I caused him to full swing to where he thought I was, and I killed him. So yeah. Basically, be smart about where you're moving. Then try to, bait out the bait out them into thinking you're in the previous position you're in, especially if you're being drawn out, like I was saying earlier. So yeah, Nat, anything special you noticed?
Yeah, that's actually very smart from you. What I actually didn't thought that I actually play Vigil like a lot, but I didn't really make full use of his ability. So I think given the circumstance where they are or where there's very little time left in the round, then obviously everybody is very kanchiong. Then I think you purposely let them join you out, right? Then you turn on
Yeah.
your ability, then move, right?
Yeah.
That's something that caught them off guard. I was gonna ask you why you didn't immediately like turn on your ability once they drone, cause that's what I would have done. Like,
Oh,
cause like once they throw the drone, right? My instinct is to turn on the ability, cause that's Vigil's like
because
special trait.
yeah.
That's his only ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then but actually quite smart, cause if you turn on your ability, right? I think
I'll
if
give
they
away my
drone, right?
position.
Yeah, they can see like the like a
The
very
little
faint.
bus. Yeah.
Yeah, they know where you are. Then obviously that's not very good. Yeah.
So
But
something to take note is basically there are times where you turn on the scanner and times when you don't, especially as visual. So I'll go on a little bit of visual here. The reason why I said they would miss me is if they miss me, fine, I will just do nothing and then I'll stay here because nobody knows I'm there. But if they drone me, right, the reason why I didn't turn it on is because yes, to fake them out. Because if they drone, like when they throw the drone and I turn it on, they will know I'm there, and it's kind of pointless because if they know I'm there and they don't know where I am, their reaction will be to clear it more thoroughly. So what I want to do is to bait him into thinking I'm at this position and I'm die at this position. Then he will clear it a bit more loosely. He'll get a bit lazy. So when he was lazy, I took advantage of it because he thought he knew where I was. Yeah. So he wasn't as thorough in his clear. That's what I did. Another thing you can do with visual scanner is that when Lion is on, you can turn it on and move around. So more tidbit there. Republic, anything interesting, Yo, Republic, anything interesting? Or we'll move on
Oh,
with
sorry. I would say the use of the visual gadget was nice because you give them force calling as well. But overall, I have nothing to put on now. That's all I could say. All I could say is that it was a good use of the gadget to give them a force call out.
Yeah. Assassin.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna say is we had a really good like play in terms of positioning there. So as soon as you got droned out, you switched your position and you held an off angle that was behind the snowmobile, and you were prone. So I'm sure the Maverick had no idea that you're going to be holding that angle there.
Yeah, so a little bit of a stance here is that proning is actually very disgusting in this game because when you ADS and you aim around crouched slash standing, you will never see a guy prone. So try to abuse it, especially when you're being chased. Actually, I hate this a lot, but I'm telling you guys, when you're being chased, and then you turn the corner, right? You round the corner, then you know he's behind you, prone. I tell you, you win the gunfight 80% of the time because the guy will be aiming like at an exit point or something, then he will never see you.
Yeah,
So,
become what you saw to destroy.
sorry?
Nothing.
Yeah, but proning is absolutely disgusting. Utilize it, Crouching is also super disgusting. No sound.
actually, before we start the next video, I think I have one more question.
Yep.
Why the attackers they don't want to like try to take the gunfight from the breach? Like they know that the lobby stairs they were coming down from the garage that one. Like got so many utility there, got goo mine, got barbwire, or why they don't just try to rotate?
Good
Like
point.
if you were the attacker, what would you have done differently? I mean,
would
there's not a lot of time left, lah. I understand, lah.
Uh.
Maybe that's that went through their head, but there's a huge ass like hole for them to go through.
Right.
And like, yeah, why they don't want?
Yeah. So for me as an attacking team, I would normally definitely put a guy on the bridge because the whole point of the bridge. Okay. When you open a bridge, right? One is to create pressure, and two is to leave someone there. But a very big brain thing you can do is that you don't leave someone there also, and then the defenders will think is a kill zone, so they will never rotate through there. So it's a bit of a mind game kind of thing.
Okay.
But Giants does this a lot. Invictus does this a lot. If you watch them, our Singaporean team, they do this a lot. They open the bridge and they do nothing with it. They normally, if the round comes for it, they'll rotate someone back. But normally there'll be no one there. I'm spilling their secret. But for me, I would have came back late. But even if I came back late, I would have died to the visual because one is I likely didn't have drones, or even if I drone, he would have moved. But yeah, but if I didn't drone, he would have killed me, which is basically yeah, because that was such an off angle. Nobody plays on the bridge. But you're correct in the sense that you should have rotated someone to the bridge. And then if it was a 2v2, what I would have done is I likely would have, as I think it was Hibana on Maverick left, but I wanted the Maverick or the Hibana to open the connector hatch. And the reason being is to clear connector, or even leave a drone there. Then once you have done that, rotate someone to the bridge, and then you come down main stairs and plant on the you plant on the shelf, the metal shelf that the Maverick was swinging from. So that's what I would have done. Then the guy on the bridge, if he needs to cover, he can run into connector and cover, because connector can kill the guy on the shelf. So yeah, so that's what I've done. A good point from you. Why didn't they rotate to the bridge? I think it's a bit of oversight there, or they just weren't experienced. A lot of players at a general level, they kind of forget that they open the wall, then they can use the wall, or they don't understand the how effective that position is. So yeah, good point you brought up.
Maybe also I feel like time has a lot to play with there. It's 35 seconds left.
They might
Can't
have
make
been
decisions that
panicking.
fast.
Yeah. Don't panic. Something I learned from my time playing competitively is that 10 seconds is enough. Sometimes even 5. Like, if you watch us play during Operation League, there was a lot of moments where we were 2v4, right? And we had 15 seconds left and we won the round. 2 is defenders get complacent, and 3 is 1 is defenders get complacent, and 2 is we effectively position ourselves to wrap the site and get kills. So never panic. Understand where to better position yourself in a effective spot and then make the play happen. Yeah, good point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Ash classroom. They got a wall open already.
Is he in garage?
Yeah, garage. Like, last scene is garage, he might come out already.
Came through the wall bridge already,
Let me see. Droning armory side. Trophy.
His window. Fuse.
Ash dead. One in breach.
No, this is master. That's master.
I think one near freezer stairs.
Could be Jacko. Can I use trophy door?
Yep.
I'm watching the breach, Copy.
Master one, master.
Take out.
I got it. I have another good mine in closet.
You just play the trophy door for me.
Game's all open. Game's window open.
Can you
One
audio
closet.
your bottom right 1 second? Can you tell me if there's anything? Or you hear nothing?
Closet. Still. Waiting.
Jacko, check me.
Repel game's window.
This is near main lobby.
Yeah.
One trophy.
This window one.
One trophy. I'm stuck.
Armory came down.
I dog out the...
I got master.
So pretty interesting clip. This is a position that I actually play in a lot. So if you have a question with regards to this position, try to ask. But we'll talk about the video first. So let's start with Assassin and we'll go top down.
One thing I noticed is, I think you were playing well, Lucy, that you got a Roma, you got Ash, and then you came back to side because you saw that everyone's pushing side. So that was a nice play. And you also helped Legion, move out of this position because he was getting pressured by Sledge and Ace. So that was a nice play from both of you coordinating with each other.
Yeah. So even as roamers, I think a point he just brought up is that you don't need to roam forever. Understand when you need to come back. / your teammates on site also must be able to tell you when you need to come back or when is the best time to come back. Teammates also, like I was talking about last lesson, also play a lot of part in the timing of a flank. So if you see a flank opportunity, call your roamer, then they can do the flank. Yeah. Also try to help your anchors out. and Ted, that video doesn't exist. Let's move on with Republic. So Republic, from a team perspective, playing at this position, what would you say is, right or wrong?
I will say it's alright because the bridge is they breached the wall already, but I will agree. I will just follow through the statement that SSC made.
Okay. Try to think on a larger perspective.
Yeah.
Not only this player, but in general the lineup, right? In terms of a team competitive perspective, what can be done better here? Like, what can be done better with regards to this position?
Uh,
Hmm?
Can't really think much because I could only say that like the same thing about teammate coming back to
Okay,
to the
so
side.
from me to you, my lesson would be operators.
Yeah.
So there's a shotgun operator at play. Can you tell me who that is? Sorry, let me bring down the overlay. But can you tell?
Yeah.
So who's the shotgun operator here?
The shotgun operator is mute.
Okay, so shotgun operator is mute. When you're playing a position like I call this fan, who would be better suited to play this position? A mute or someone with a gun? Like a shotgun player or a gun?
For close range, I would say mute.
Right. So my point is exactly, even if you're playing this position, before the breach opens, you as the Legion here, you can tell your mute to come over and say, hey, swap positions with me. I have a better gun than you. I can hold that trophy angle to the I can hold that penguin angle to the trophy door while you stay close with your shotgun. Wouldn't you think that is a better way to play your position?
Yeah, I will agree with it it's because it's close range and they are going through the breach and the trophy area, so it's better for mute to hold that position.
Right. So exactly. Try to keep that in mind. Understand that doesn't mean that you're playing there, you need to play there. Your teammates can swap with you. It's something to take note of. A lot of teams, newer teams especially, they fail to notice that, and then they always try to die play a AR there, even though they have a shotgun player. Yeah, leverage
Yeah.
on your utility, your loadout. That's my point. Net, anything interesting?
Yeah, I would say that the utility placement is very good. Oh, it's actually I never see so many utility put on like one entrance before. I think, but that's a very good utility placement from the team. Like I see you have a lot like two trap operators. So you have Capcan and Legion, just to like slow them down a bit. And the Melusi will give you. I think if you put it there, if they get close to the door, then yeah, you activate, right?
Yeah.
Then it gives you another info lah. Yeah.
Right.
So for you, I see that you keep looking at both angles, looking through the breach and looking through the door. Uh, like I think my gun skill won't be good enough to take pics of. If I were playing your like this position, right, it'd be very hard for me to watch two angles at once. I would
Okay.
say.
So a point I'm glad you brought up is basically playing that position. This position is very hard to play. It's a position.
Is it?
Yeah, it is because once the bridge is open, one is gun skill, two is smarts. So something smart about the Legion player in particular, which is Jordan next to me. Jordan basically played it very slow. You do not want to be the one most of the time aggressing here. You want to allow time to be wasted as much as possible, which is what he did. He took peaks very minimally, and whenever he peaked, he pre-fired or he Shaco peaked. So this position is one hard that's hard to play. One is because two different angles. Yeah, one is two different angles. Two is basically it's a position you play to die. And where he's standing right, he actually can be naded, which is what happens to me a lot of the time. I get punished like crazy here. Every time they see me stand here, I'm like a free nade kill, I'm like a chicken dinner, and then they just nade me. So playing this position played to die. Then if you notice that they having life in front of you, try to make a swing happen, get your roamer to come back, get him to help you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say that just now when we brought up the mute and Legion, yeah, maybe you all could have swapped positions a bit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Mute would have been better suited to swing trophy with his shotgun.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Then another point is the layering of utility, like you said, is pretty well done. Mute
Yeah, it's
jammer,
quite well
cap and track, barbed wire, legion mine. Layering of utility is something that everyone should take note of. Especially on entry points that are very common, like this door. This is called fan door. For me at least. For fan door, we normally have a multitude of utility here. We want the sound cues. We want to know when they're pushing in. Then late in the rounds, right, you always notice that, at least for me, what I notice is that attackers will always try to crowd through this door late in the round, and then defenders will try to peek and then they die. So, what happens, or the ideal way to play this is that to have someone peek from kids. Then once he shoulder peeks or he sees them coming in, the guys from pit door, which is this door, and the guy behind this wall, which is fan wall or games, they will swing together. So always time your swings, call the swings together. Don't pick 1v1, otherwise you will lose the round. Don't give free picks, work together, work for the kill.
Alright. Then as the attackers, right, what could you do about all these utility? Like there's so much utility, right? It makes it hard for you to sort of push.
Right. So drone for opportunity is what I would say. So when you drone and then you realize that, hey, there's so much stacking of utility. This is actually what I said last lesson. When they're heavy on one side, try to push the other. So what I will be pushing here is normally white slash big window, and then maybe one guy kids rappel.
Actually that's a nice way to play it.
Yeah, or if you know that here is so heavily stacked, attic might be a bit free. So the ways, the way to push attic, right? Which a lot of teams don't understand yet, is that you must open this wall. So if this wall is open, it pushes the defender out of this area called pit, and then it forces them to play like here. So once they play here, right, your attic players can push up, and then they can help you take this area. Because once they're here, this guy can't play here, right now.
Yeah.
So if you open at attic, then you wait and you assist your guys in taking trophy, you clear out trophy, then you open the wall. If they open it with Hibana or Ace, obviously don't termite here, you'll die. Then if you termite Ace and then someone swings to get the charge, right, you punish them. You swing back, then you kill him, then you trade out this position. Or if he doesn't get a charge, you get attic for free, burn it, then the attic players push out and take. So there's like a lot of steps, but basically understand which step needs to come first is another thing.
Then like that operator selection comes in quite handy. I would
Correct.
say. And you need quite a few hard breaches if you want to take attic.
For this map, a lot of teams opt to play 2 hard breach, which is Maverick / Hibana, Maverick / Ace. There are even 3 hard breach, but you normally see that more for Clubhouse.
I see. Okay.
Thank
you.
So Raven, any questions? Yeah, so far the whole thing.
Anything to add for this clip?
Sorry?
I don't have anything to add for this clip.
Yeah. Debate, anything from you? Debate. Oh, he's back. Anyway, Jordan has something to.
Okay, so one thing about this clip, right, that none of you noticed was that no one was helping me hold the bridge or the window right here, right? Because the bridge was getting open and the window was getting fused or whatsoever, right? And no one was helping me hold here, so I had to keep shuffling angles. As you saw in the video, I kept going left, right, looking left, right, pre-firing everywhere. When we know that they are not pushing attic, right? It's a 4v4, 1 minute 50 seconds left. They are pushing heavily on master bedroom, trophy side. They're not even pushing attic at all. My attic player right now is basically useless. Right? Where's the attic player? So the attic player, he keeps going in between kids, B-bomb side and attic itself, which staying in kids is fine, but he keeps going back to attic to check if the wall gets open, which is not, and we know that they're heavily pushing from master and they're opening master already, so he should be at what Div likes to call pit door, right? He should be at pit door trying to hold the breach for me, or at least holding my fan door, right? Instead of instead of just letting me keep looking left, right, and then eventually if they were to double push me or what, and I don't see the corner in time, or like, you know, Siege has this timing thing where you look away from for a second, a player is there, that kind of thing. I would have died immediately. So the roamer being the roamer coming back later, that's fine, right? He was making the play of coming up by armory stairs and killing one or two players, but at this point of time, this player should be helping me hold the general area of trophy and the closet breach lah, instead of just running back and forth between like a headless chicken lah, pretty much. So that's one thing you all can keep in mind, is don't keep running back and forth if you know that they're not gonna push from that certain area. Try to help your teammate that is trapped in a corner. If you see them, ask them if they need help. If they don't need help, then you go do something else. Alright?
Alright.
So yeah, be effective in your positioning. This player was a bit all over the place and frankly didn't commit much. Didn't have much impact in the round. We'll be moving on to roaming now. So I think before we do that, we'll be having a quick intermission. So we'll catch you guys in 1 or 2 minutes. Try to take 2 to 5 minutes, sorry. Try to take a little bit of toilet break, that kind of thing, and then see you later Twitch chat. If you have any questions, try to write them down maybe in Academy chat, that we can talk about them later if it's not covered. Yeah. Cheers. Okay, hey guys, we're back. I'm gonna start with roaming. Hope everyone is back. Do a quick run through of roaming. So if you have any questions about roaming, leave it in the chat first. Then we'll get to that. But for now, let me start with the lesson. So what is roaming? So how to roam and what do you seek to achieve when roaming? So roaming is typically done by holding entry points of a map actively and to deny attackers map control or prevent them from achieving round objectives. So I think some of you might have a question of already asking me what is a round objective. So when you're attacking, especially on a coordinated team or if you're playing competitively, you have a lot of objectives to achieve. So one would be to gain map control. Two would be to open what you need to open, be it hatches, walls, etc. Play vertical, that kind of thing, put out kitchen or armory, that kind of thing. And then lastly, drone the site and execute. So those are round objectives. Round objectives normally go in the realm of 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6 is quite dependent. So yeah. Typical roamers would be Alibi, Vigil, nowadays even Aruni, Oryx. Oryx is a very interesting one. We've been testing him out a lot lately. He works a lot. Good to consider for Clubhouse. Another one. Yeah, those are the few that I have in mind now.
Will you consider Oryx a good roamer for cafe third floor?
Third floor.
Cafe third floor. Because I remember using him one time and I flanked enemies after climbing up the cigar hatch.
You're talking about 3F, right? Sorry. Because
Yeah, 3F.
Ah.
Because I climb up to piano hatch, like
Uh,
jump up to piano hatch as
okay.
Oryx.
Where do you get the inspiration from?
I had a thought that because last few seconds enemy is forced to push in, so it gives me the opportunity that they will think that the roamers will push from red stairs or white stairs instead of playing hatch jump up.
So am I right to say your objective with Oryx is just to jump up the hatch?
It's not to jump up hatch, but it's to like trick the enemy thinking you're coming from those common places.
Trick the enemy? Can you elaborate common places for me?
Okay, because the last few seconds they are forced to push in for default plant. So there was there were times that I play Oryx to roam around. Then my teammates call out saying that they're going in already. But I break hatch at the start of the round so that it will not make it obvious that I'm coming up, even though they found me as Oryx. So what I do is that the last few seconds I will just climb up to the hatch of piano and let them, and then I'll do the job.
I think on paper it sounds very good. It's also something we have tried. We as in my team. But it doesn't work in the way you're using it. The reason being, okay, there's no easy way to say this, but once I drone you out, right, then I know your Oryx. I already know what your play is. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So a very good team will have someone watching you and you will die. That's pretty much all I'm gonna say. But the reason why we pick Oryx is for a slightly different purpose, a little bit different from yours. We used him to run out. Have you considered that?
Yeah, I considered it before.
But what was the results like?
I remember running out in Oregon and the results were 2 kills of run out.
Okay.
Mostly 2 kills because they don't know that I'm running out.
So it's a one-off kind of thing, but
Yeah.
when you're around. Okay, so it's like a pocket shred. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I would say his effectiveness is way better on runouts than climbing up hatches. The reason being because if your idea is to when they execute, then you jump out the hatch, right? For me, I would have killed you. So that's my take on it. But it's a very good idea. I think it sounds very good on paper, but probably something to consider because probably the level of communication from other teams hasn't been as tip top as you expect. So yeah, try out more, but I guarantee you at the higher levels, especially if you scrim pro league teams, they will definitely punish you. But running out, still not really that punished yet because it takes a lot of manpower. And if they physically hold runouts, it means that their manpower is weak somewhere on cafe. So yeah, that's my thoughts. But good idea, sounds good on paper. But I suggest you to give it more thought, try out more, and probably see how it goes.
Okay.
Any more questions from anyone else? Otherwise, I will go on to the second point. Oh.
Yeah, I have a question. So, since he's talking about cafe, right? Usually in your pro games, do you usually ban Valk on cafe. So does it still give you confidence to pick Oryx and still go run up?
If we have, do we ban Valk on cafe?
Because usually like pro games, I don't know, I see they ban Velt on because it's like
The
quite.
reason for banning Valk is to avoid runouts also. That's correct. And 2 is spawn picking, and 3 is plant denial. Valkyrie is very strong in that sense, and there are a lot of areas in cafe especially where you can place the camera where when they want to push in, they have to choose whether to look straight or to look at the camera, and they turn around, we will kill them. So Valkyrie is very strong in that sense, and that's why she's banned. And your question was if she's banned, do we still have the confidence to pick Oryx? Is it?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if she's banned, we will still pick Oryx. The reason being because our communication is good enough that we know where they are, even without the camera.
Okay.
And the way we set up the site, we can normally funnel them into where we want to funnel them. In the sense that we'll make vertical lines, lines of sight rotates, that kind of thing, to funnel them into a certain area. So Valkyrie for us is more of a bonus. It's not really a must, if I have to put it that way. But a lot of pro teams like CAG especially, they use her very aggressively. They use her to throw C4s all the way out into bakery door. If you have watched the SI game, they played like, they were defending the building. So yeah,
I've seen their strat. Yeah.
Yeah, so CAG is a team that I have had the pleasure to play against. They are very aggressive, very smart on how they use Valkyrie cameras, and their coordination is very good. So by the time you spot the camera, you already did. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Thank you.
So I have a question from Twitch chat from Abby. She asked me, how do I roam when they have Nomad and Gridlock? And she's normally stuck when they have those two operators. If I impact or shoot, it's super loud. Knife and so. Oh, okay. So like, oh, she's basically asking if they have flank watch operators like Nomad or Gridlock. How can she flank? So when there are flank watch operators like Nomad or Gridlock, right? Nomad being the stronger of the two. Reason being, air jabs can be virtually placed in off angles, then you very hard to shoot them sometimes. But for Nomad, when you need to shoot it, get your teammate to make a lot of sound. Shotgun something, impact something, shoot somewhere, then shoot the air jab. That's my take. If there's a Gridlock, we normally impact it, or we shoot the canister when it's first thrown. So fun fact about Gridlock is that if you shoot the first canister, right, it will stop deploying the rest. So if you're fast enough, shoot the first canister. Then if you're not, still try to flank, or shoot it early, then flank late. You don't need to flank. Okay, there's timings to flank, and you don't need to flank all the time. So try to time your flanks. Like I said, work with your teammates when you're flanking. Another question. If you're the last man standing, you should already be on site. If you're roaming and you're last man standing, right, it means that you have failed your roam. Yeah. Reason being because roam is to waste time / stop the attackers from hitting site so quickly, and they have already hit site, and then you're still roaming. It means that something is backwards. Yeah. But it's like when I was inside. Sorry guys, give me a second. Then they all push on red. Then I stuck. Where are you, Abby? Inside where?
I think she's referring to cigar piano orders.
Cocktail. If you're in cocktail, that's fine, Abby. You can stay there. But basically, you don't need to always move if they're all coming from red. So if attackers are heavy red, right, you guys normally want to deny piano. And if you have failed to deny piano, you lose a lot of control. So how you do it is normally you play in piano, you force them to rappel, then you shoot drones, slow them down. Then the next layer of it is one guy piano, one guy cigar, fall back to pixel / freezer, then pixel / toilet freezer, that kind of thing. Slowly fall back, peel back. You probably are not buying enough time, which is why you're being forced to rotate. Yeah, don't drop down. Just stay on site, work with your teammates. Play more forward in the start, so you're not in that position. Anyway, moving on. We're not moving on from the slide, but point 2. Yeah, when roaming always seek to force attackers to use utility during roam clear. And what I mean by this is basically not only drones, but either try to make them flash you, nade you, impact you, that kind of thing. It's all worth it. Because down the road, right, when you are playing your site setup, which I say play your setup, and your setup will win. If you play your setup and then you have burned enough utility above, they will not have enough utility to clear your site setup. And that makes it hell for them to push the site. Which is why normally I say drone for your opportunity, see where utility is heavy slack, then move the other direction. But obviously try not to use so much utility when clearing the roamers, but if you can as a defender to bait out utility, obviously do that. Then destroy said utility whenever possible to cause uncomfortable scenarios in the late round. So this is what I mean by when they cannot push the setup or cannot clear the setup, they are forced to push into it, then, you know, it makes them very uncomfortable. They kanchiong, they make bad plays. Kanchiong basically meaning they get a bit angsty, antsy, then they want to push things quickly, you know. They don't really think. And most importantly, to play the defender's side of objective, like Inky said just now. I don't know whether she's still here, but playtime. So there are two different types of roam. I'll be going into this quite lightly. We'll be watching a video later from Elevate and Cloud9 during the Stage 1 playoff for the championship. But basically there are two roaming styles. One is the deep roam, like Assassin mentioned just now. Some of you might be wondering what the hell is deep roam. But deep roam is basically you're roaming far offside, very extended, to waste time and attacker utility. So when you're far offside, you force the attackers to clear you, and if they don't clear you, you can flank them, then you punish them. Or if they clear you, you might even punish them because they're lazy, then, you know, vice versa. Shallow / soft roaming. So these are normally for the anchors or the guys holding the bridge back for the defenders to fall back the side. They're the people roaming close to the side. They can be on the stairs. They can be somewhere close to the side. You know, that kind of roam, like cigar, that kind of thing. Piano, mining. Yeah. Then roaming close side to also waste time and attacker utility. You'll notice that the objectives are the same because, and the objective doesn't say here fight until you die. So always fall back, waste time, shoot a few drones. It's all worth it. Remember that 2 drones equals to 1 attacker. So killing 2 drones is equivalent to essentially killing 1 attacker. You have completely crippled him of his ability to drone. And when that happens, they are forced to push blindly, and then you can play those off positions. So yeah, make drone killing your priority, especially for, I think, Abby just now. Probably you haven't shot enough drones, then they took control very fast. You know, play forward, make sure you're shooting drones. Unless, yeah, like that said, you're Napier, then you have a bit of gangster. So we're watching Cloud9 versus Elevate. This is their championship game for Apex Stage 1.
And that was incredible to watch. And that was incredible to watch.
Explosivity of Elevate's executors. Quite something to behold, Raven, and honestly I have absolutely no envy whatsoever for our lovely observer. I believe it's Marshall on today for having to try and keep up with this crazy massacre that we end up seeing every single round by round. Particularly players like Napier, I feel like you can safely just spectate him and you'll see a couple kills each round.
Have to agree. Yeah, he's a pretty prolific fragger for Elevate. He's had a pretty good stage as well, and he was the highest rater. Like, we'll talk about the stats, because we did talk about it for C9 quite a bit. Napier sitting out on top for Elevate, 1.22 rating overall. Pretty importantly, you know, plus 20 kill-death ratio. Pretty incredible, and definitely every game we watched for Elevate, Napier was always way up in there on the scorecard.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to rag on a player, but I'm just going to once again point out that Shyle, every single round but one, he died, and not a single time did he find a pick. Just so uncharacteristic, at least for his form last year. He was just such a strong player. This year, as you mentioned, he's been the bottom rated for Cloud9. He hasn't necessarily needed to do as much when Cloud9's just plowing through every single APAC North team in the league. But it does bring you a concern here when Cloud9 are potentially at the risk of losing a substantial amount of SI points and something like $30,000 US. I'll confirm the prize pool for you later, but that is just such a massive stake for this game.
That it is. So I think what's big here, we talked about the round count, talked about the half. We thought, yeah, Cloud9, they could probably take it 4-2. They didn't. Elevate 3-3. Certainly a win in their department, but how can they go with their defenses? Now, we are actually halfway through this round already. C9 have found some great vertical control. They didn't quite find that opening pick, though. DCH, he's got some cut-up heels, but he's still alive. And then he swings onto Harper. That is just incredible.
What a collapse from Elevates. Only one player left, and a flawless round maybe at hand. Shyle can find his first of the game, but he can't find it.
So anyway, we're gonna talk about that round. Maybe you have you guys talk about the round, what you thought was interesting, then I'll give you my thought on it as, you know. Yeah, I'll give you my input. So let's start with Assassin, then we'll go down.
I didn't know exactly what the Mozzie did because I think he got 3 kills in this round.
Right.
But good thing is, I saw how, you know, there was a lot of coordination between, I saw 2 guys come up from basement stairs just now. I think it was a mute and one more guy. And yeah, Mozzie was doing his own roaming somewhere else. I don't know exactly where. I think last I saw him towards the showers side. That's all I gotta say, man. There's nothing more which I observed.
Yeah, so one thing you pointed out was the retake. So how roamers were assisting the main push. So you see that not Napier. Napier obviously did crazy this round, but Onigiri actually came up to support DCH. So as soon as DCH gave the call that, hey, this guy is end of Green Hall, Onigiri was watching, was looking for opportunity, then he walked up the stairs to help DCH. So it's something that I was talking about how even though you're anchoring, can be on camps early in the round, but mid round you can be helping your roamers, that kind of thing, helping them fall back. One thing I hope the next few of you can talk about is the setup and probably even the operator lineup. Tell me what's interesting, and then and even maybe their positioning, and then I can talk about that with you guys. So yeah, good point there. Republic, maybe team perspective.
For me, the team perspective, the lineup for the defender, our scene is it's alright because that's the same, almost exactly the same lineup I will use. My team will use, because even though instead of Vigil we use Kite, we're more of a turtle strat. But I didn't see much of how Goyo was able to play shield in the kitchen. So that was like my point of view. Was like, how was he able to it's like,
So
yeah, his kitchen hole.
he had a shield in kitchen door.
Yeah, I saw the shield at kitchen door, but I didn't know what would be the outcome from it.
Okay. Like I said, right? Remember what I said? The point was try to force the attackers to use utility to clear your shield.
Yeah.
This is exactly what he's doing. So you'll see that with regards to lineup, this isn't your typical basement lineup. In the sense that you're bringing a Mozzie, you're bringing a Goyo, you're bringing a Vigil, and then you're bringing a Mute. So from those operators, right? Jaeger is obviously a staple, but maybe can you give me a team that's coming from these operators?
A team. I don't really know, to be honest. For my operator, for my team operator will be Goyo, Kai, Jaeger, Aruni, and my last one is a Mute, I think.
Okay, maybe let's talk about your team. What is your team's lineup looking to achieve by bringing those operators? I can tell you the answer, but I hope you have the answer.
No, we were achieving to hold out, because my team usually expects them for a bunker push. So we usually there will usually be a Goyo shield at pillars to watch bunker. Like stay there and fight for backstairs and bunker.
Okay, but your lineup, right? If you have noticed, it's actually utility burn lineup. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
You're looking to burn utility. So the lineup here is actually information denial. And why you can tell that is because they brought Mute, they brought Vigil, they brought Mozzie, and they brought a Goyo. So the Goyo is not much of information denial, but he denies a lot of space, which is what he's doing now. So by denying space, you're also denying information. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is what they're doing. And this lineup is very, very suited to deny the information that Cloud9 needs. And Cloud9 is smart enough to know that they cannot push directly into this lineup. So can you tell me what? Okay, maybe the next person, but yeah, let's stop it here. Then we'll go to Net. So Net, what do you think was special here from Cloud9?
From Cloud9?
Yeah.
You mean their lineup?
No. From the way they, sort of tried to counter the information denial.
They sort of like split up. They didn't really like stick together in a sense.
Okay. What else?
Feel like in Elevate they played they, as you said, they play information denial, and a lot of them are roaming. They play this round so aggressively. The round was over so quick.
Okay.
And I think it just caught Cloud9 off guard. I think because when people play basement, they don't expect such a quick round. I would feel.
Okay. Yeah, the round was quick. But one thing that I hope that you could have pointed out was Cloud9 actually they droned out the setup and they saw I think Napier was fighting Static at the start. And Static saw that he was facing resistance and he was alone, right? In shower side, in the small tower side, early in the round. Like here.
Yeah, the bullet hole.
Yeah, so he was facing resistance and they also noticed the lineup. They had Vigil, they were obviously droning, and then they saw the Vigil scanner, they saw the mute jammers, and then they probably saw this shield. So the play here from Cloud9 was to say, hey, they're heavy on first floor. We're gonna take second floor, then we're gonna vert this kitchen guy out. And that is very smart from them because they drone for opportunity, then they push, not really push, but they cleared from where the utility was lightest. And by doing that, they were trying to force DCH out, but DCH obviously wasn't cleared fully, which is why he was still playing in kitchen. But Cloud9's idea was there, but their execution obviously fell. It didn't work. So it's a good thing to notice, especially in your rank games or your team games. If you notice that their first floor heavy, probably second floor is weak, drone it out, then clear from the second floor. It's not something that's commonly done, but a lot of teams should have picked it up. So yeah, something interesting to take note here.
I see.
Maybe Raven, you got any pointers? Something interesting to you or something that you don't understand?
The newbie, I sort of had difficulty keeping up with the action because there was a lot of overheads and then suddenly they cut to a player, so I didn't really have much context on what was going on.
Right. So with regards to what was going on was basically Cloud9 went for a roam clear. They went for second floor, hoping to push the kitchen guy out. They were unsuccessful in doing so. And then Napier, which was allowed to stay in the shower side, right? He actually rotated back, and he caught the Cloud9 players as they were either going down white stairs or he walked up the white stairs. So either one. So that's what happened. So they failed to create enough pressure. Then they allowed the roamers too much freedom, which is why the round ended so quickly. So yeah, roamers basically punished the attackers, and yeah, I hope that cleared your questions. What about the bait? Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I think that made it easier for me to understand what they were trying to achieve.
That's good. If you have any questions, just let me know. We'll try to cover them with you. Bait, you got any, pointers to point out?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, so for me, right, you'll notice that a lot of this round, the Vigil is actually very interestingly playing in basement. The reason being is because his scanner extends 2 floors. And if you notice this, Cloud9 actually doesn't know, which is why they don't push meeting, and because they think that he's inside. And the shield here and the forward playing, the forward positioning from Napier actually gave them a lot of control. and they baited Cloud9 into taking second floor, which is why you saw DCH throw a C4 earlier, top white. So this setup, they were also ready for a rush in case they rush side because Sepper was already downstairs as visual. So quite interesting setup to look at. And then I think we have a final 5 minutes. We probably will look at the next round and then maybe one thing from each of you, then we'll be done the round with the whole lesson today.
Team would get 2 bans, and then basically the 3 maps left over are the 3 maps that you end up playing. It does really allow teams to play maps they're more comfortable on, and in theory get some more one-sided map choices. In this case, I think it's safe to say Elevate really should be favored on Oregon.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Tend to agree. Now, this is where we're going to have to see what C9 have up their sleeve. Can they do to answer back? I feel like this is the I'm gonna say it. I'm so sorry, Dev. Xenox and Guz will love me for this, but Dorms seems to be the kicker bomb site that we always seem to find. And look, it's true. It was played 3 times in the first half, and Elevate won 2 of them. And I feel like that is pretty significant given the weight that some of these defense halves can have. And if C9 managed to get this Dorms attack right now, it will keep them in the game.
And if not, Elevate really will start to run away with it. It'll only be a matter of time before they hit that match point. Cloud9, though, they've brought the Ying. They're starting to change some things now. In fact, they've almost completely changed their operator lineup compared to last round. Only one player, that's Static, or rather Shyle, is playing the same operator they played last round. Everyone else has changed, switching up their strategy. Cloud9 spending a lot of time outside the map trying to decide what is the best way to use this Ying. What push should they go for?
It's a great point about the pace of this. It is very slow and lacking a bit of impact. Now, what's important at least is that they do have Attic open. So it does put a lot of focus and pressure for at least one player. You see Angry X, he is holding that. But outside of that C9, yeah, this is really seriously lacking some impact. Now, I understand the point of using the Ying, but I don't know. This feels a little bit scary to me.
And as time ticks away, Cloud9 are leaving themselves a very, very narrow window. Here it is. Candelas go on fourth. Nova actually goes with Diffuser in hand into an aggressive position. The plant not going down. Baits out a C4. Nova looking for an Elevate. Find the opening exchange. Traded. Static with the shotgun. Cloud9 pushing that Diffuser down, but Nova can't stick it. Not while Napew's peeking him. Envy Taylor's the last one left, and he can't do anything.
Yeah, so one thing from each of you, we'll go top down. So Assassin first, then we'll talk about the round, probably some mistakes they made. Then yeah.
I'm gonna speak from our Elevate's perspective here, where they played it really calm. Although Ying rushed and she was about to go for the plant there, they played it really well. They just stayed calm, decided on everyone was on one side of the map, so they went for a kind of like a retake onto on the Dom side, and they were successful in that. They slowly killed one by one. Yeah, everyone. So I think they killed the big window guy. They killed the Ying after that. That was the Koningiri it was, and IQ couldn't do anything. So I think she was rappelling here to cut off the rotations, but she couldn't do much because the defenders, I think, used a different side to rotate from.
Yeah. Republic.
Could say the same thing as the Ying was gonna rush into plant. Something like Assassin's things where they smoke out and everything, but then there was not, like, how could I say? Because to be honest, I have nothing to say. I have nothing much to say for this clip.
Okay. Let's move on then. Net.
I would say that I think C9 take too much time already to entry. A lot the moment when they decided to entry, it's already like 30 something seconds left. I mean, that could have been enough. It could have been enough time, but I think the defenders also played quite well to clear the Ying out. It's not so easy to clear a lot of flashes plus smoke. But yeah, and Termite also. He was one man pushing Attic. Actually, I'm not sure what he's doing there. Maybe trying to draw attention.
Yeah.
But I'm questioning the Termite's play. I don't know why he never go and
Yeah,
push.
I'll actually talk about that later.
Okay, can.
So Raven, anything?
Side, I don't know whether I'm accurate in saying this, but it felt like there was a lot of hesitation.
Right.
Like maybe one player was waiting for another player to make a move, but then no one made a move. So
Yeah.
felt like there was a lot of hesitation to execute.
Actually, I don't think you don't know what's going on. You actually know what's going on. Yeah, you're right in the sense that there was a lot of hesitation. I'll talk about that also. The bait. One thing that's interesting to you, or maybe you didn't understand.
Why was like what someone just now said? Why is the Termite pushing in from Attic by himself?
Okay.
That maybe say the IQ could have gone in through Kid's window instead to
Okay.
help him.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Very good points from all of you. Actually, what I wonder here. So, in short, there are, I think, four main things here. One, Elevate played very calm, even though the plan was going down. Two, Cloud9 had a lot of hesitation. And three, follow up was slow. And four, ultimately, it looked like there was no game plan at all. So I'm not sure if you remember this net, but we just talked about this a few minutes ago when we were in the video. But remember, I was talking about how in order to push down Attic, the easiest way is to open this wall. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a bit of a two-way here.
Okay.
You can see that Nova is here, and his job is to clear this position, right?
Trophy.
Yep. And then he's faced with 3 ADSs, and he has 5 utility. So he technically can clear this, right?
Yeah.
But I think somewhere down the road, they confused themselves, then they were like, oh no, I can't clear this. Then he leaves. But I think what happens was Envy Taylor came back and said, oh yeah, there's 3 ADSs. Then he stood here late in the round. Then Termite was also very confused. So are y'all clearing or not? Which is why, if I was to bet my money, is why he was still here even though the execute was going down. Because no one in the right mind will push a shield in Attic.
Yeah,
And this guy has no ADS.
Guaranteed. It's a guaranteed death.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed death. So I'm pretty sure this guy was so confused. But the rest of them were like, okay, we can plant. Then he's like, wow, I can't even get to anywhere useful, so I might as well just push out and die. So that's probably what happened from there.
Technically, if Ying early round rotated to big tower, Attic will be cleared already.
Correct.
Something around that.
Or if Ying actually was smart enough to say, I have so much utility, I have 5 utility, 3 Yings and 2 smokes. Even if there's 3 ADSs here, I smoke twice, burn, then I Ying twice, burn, then I Ying again, then I clear him out. Right? But I think there was a lot of hesitation from their end, which is what led to their demise here. And then obviously, another thing that I think Raven actually very smartly brought up was that the follow-up was slow. And I think another person brought up that they were slow to their positions is essentially what the person was trying to say. Because if you notice, when the plan was actually going down, Nova hesitated a lot. He didn't choose to swing, even though he was yinging everything. He could have easily killed this Valkyrie. And then when the Valkyrie killed him, the follow-up from the sledge bottom right was also very, very slow. So hesitation cost them the round here. And yeah, very good points from all of you. And yeah, I hope you learned something today. I think we'll be closing out, right?
But
so I'll
the
let
Valkyrie,
Good-
the Valkyrie
sorry.
didn't have the call out for Sledge playing white stairs.
Yeah,
the
correct.
shotgun.
But in general, most of the Cloud9 players were super out of position, which is why they lost the round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So make sure you're in position, make sure everyone's ready before you execute. Then if you're unsure, look at their drone count here. They lost 2, 4, 6, 8 drones. They have 2 drones left. They probably had no information. If you have no information, at least get in position, make a correct play. What they did here was they panicked. They had no information, then they just went with whatever went. Yeah. So yeah. Good job on the defenders. And yeah, that's the end today. I'll let Jordan do the closing. Thank you all for being here.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So for like one of the players, he kept dropping the diffuser and picking it back again, like back and forth. Was that like something that's supposed to be purposeful, or was he just like messing around? I couldn't tell.
Dropping the diffuser purposeful or not? Probably yes, because Nova
Okay.
in this scenario should be the one planting. The reason
Okay.
being Ying is the only one that can see through her flashes, and then if the rest of the team is pushing with the Ying charge, right, they all get blinded. So probably they were shifting diffuser, then they were saying, hey, we have no choice, let's just do a last minute Ying into big window, then you plant. But I think Nova, you can see him off plant, on plant, off plant, on plant because he was scared. He
Okay.
didn't have the faith to stick. I mean, that happens sometimes.
My
Okay.
question is at what time will you intend to push
Anyway,
in?
I'm very sorry, but
Answer you
I
after we
probably
go
have
end the stream.
to end the stream here because SCAPE has another stream going on after this. But
Okay.
if you have any questions, feel free to type them in Academy chat. I'll get to you ASAP.
Okay.
Yeah, but those will be done off stream. Your questions. Thank you so
They can just
much.
stay in. Okay,
Right.
so you guys can just stay in the channel. We will answer you off stream, but we just have to close out the stream right now. Yeah, so you just give us like
Okay.
5 minutes, okay?
Hey, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen on Twitch chat, thank you so much for coming down and asking questions. This is our third lesson. Tomorrow will be our fourth lesson. It will be what? Fundamentals of clutch and making plays. So do come by 2 to 4 p.m. as well. There'll be a 10-man 5v5 custom game after the lesson is done. Thank you everyone for your support. Once again, this R6SC Academy is brought to you by R6SC in partnership with SCAPE. All right, thank you everyone for coming out. Appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.